Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in now. I did a video on this, but it is in the members only section now because I had a lot going on there and was picking up food and all kind of stuff going on. So I wanted to touch back on this for the general public. And if you new here, this is not a gossip page, not a gossip blog. We use these incidents that happen in the media to relate to everyday life. So understand that right there. This ain't about all day business and all day facts. So get that together. Also, remember if you want to be an owner in the channel and to earn every month that the channel earns, the YouTube channel that is, the link is in the description. It is being hosted by Gigastar. Go check it out. SEC registered. Check that out. All the information is there for you. Would love to have you as a part owner, investor in the channel. Now, on this here situation, this is something that I want you to think about. I want you to really be able to take to heart, because if it can happen to them at this level, that lets you know it can happen to anybody. And you have to realize that when you get into a relationship, you could end up being on either side of this. So this is not about, don't look at it like victim shaming, victim blaming. Don't look at it like taking something off of the person, because for one, as far as they're concerned, we don't know all their details. And I read the article on it, I believe from NBC News. Probably go through that, read that here. But what you have to realize and understand is that this is a very real thing, and it can happen in any relationship. Because if an NFL first round draft pick, that means if you do the right thing, you can have a long career. If you are locked in, eating right, sleeping right, drinking right, living right, you can have a long career if you do right. If you act a fool, your career can come up real short. So we're about to see in this incident with him how good of a star he is. If he's like a real star, they're gonna sweep it under the rug. It's gonna be okay. If he not who they thought he was, because he is a first round draft pick, it said, then they're gonna kick him on out the league. Or they at least gonna let him take a year off before somebody bring him back for a camp, and then he might be out of shape and they might cut him. But this one incident can derail his entire life. Or he could stay in the league, but it put him on a very short leash to where any mistake he make, they done with him because he's a liability. Then at the same time, what you got to think about is the young lady that's going through this. She is a beautiful young lady. I believe her name Rikia Jackson. Successful. She's number 4 overall pick. So she, let me look this here up. Number 4 overall pick. So she's a star in her own right. And we're gonna go through this here article so we get the facts straight, and then we're gonna break this down. I'm gonna teach you from the male perspective of how stuff can lead up to this, barring their details and all that, because we don't have all their details. I'm gonna walk you through everyday life and some things you got to look out for when you dealing in a relationship. So Falcons linebacker arrested following alleged domestic dispute with WNBA star. James Pearce Jr. was charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, and other charges, according to online records. Atlanta Falcons linebacker James Pearce Jr. was arrested in Miami on Saturday after a domestic dispute with Los Angeles Sparks forward Rikia Jackson, according to the police. Pearce crashed his car during a police chase while trying to avoid arrest. Doral Police Chief Edwin Lopez said. Following the police chase, Pearce was arrested Saturday evening and charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and aggravated stalking, all connected to domestic, the V word, according to online records. He was also charged with aggravated battery of an officer fleeing or eluding police with lights and siren and resisting an officer without violence to his person. Pearce, who is being held at the Turner Gulford Night Correctional Center, appeared virtually in court Sunday when it was revealed that the deadly weapon was a vehicle. Presiding Judge Jacqueline Woodward issued a domestic v. stay away order for the victim, who was referred to in court as Ms. Jackson. The order demands that Pearce have no contact with Jackson or come within 500 feet of her home. Pearce's bond on all charges was set at $20,500. The nature of Pearce and Jackson relationship was not immediately clear. Both attended the University of Tennessee at the same time, where they played their respective sports from 2022 to 2024. Pearce, 22, is an NFL rookie who was picked in the first round of the 2025 draft by the Falcons. In a statement, the Falcons said they were aware of an incident. We are in the process of gathering more information and will not have any further comment on an open legal matter at this time, the statement read. Attorney Jacob Nunez, who was representing Pearce, said he maintains his innocence and urges the public to understand that while allegations have the power to shape a narrative, that it is hardly the full, complete story. We look forward to vigorously defending our client and remain confident that he will continue contributing positively to both his team and the community he serves so well, Nunez said in the statement. Video circulating on social media and confirmed by the Doral Police Department showed Pearce being tackled to the ground and taken into custody by multiple officers. Representatives for Jackson did not immediately respond to a request for comment. An attorney for Jackson declined to comment. Jackson, 24, she's 2 years older than he is, was selected by the Los Angeles Sparks as the 4th overall pick in 2024, going on to create a name for herself in the WNBA by averaging 14.7 points in 38 games in the 2025 season. Now, so she 2 years older. And this is what I want y'all to understand. What I want you to understand in a situation like this, and y'all forgive me because my wife texted me, because she out with her mom today for her mom's birthday. Took her, give her a spa day. We just took her to breakfast. What I want you to understand now, for one, in an age gap relationship where the woman is older, that also can present some issues, because the woman knows a little more than the man, a lot more, because women are already more advanced than a man. So a woman knowing more, when you date a younger man, you could deal with this type of stuff. You could deal with this hothead type stuff because he doesn't fully understand you. And so when you moving nonchalant, when you popping off at the mouth, when you got a little smart aleck response, when you could twist him up with your words, when you give a silent treatment, when you know how to, ignore him, when you moving around, you got your motion. It's guys in your life. It's guys liking your posts. You liking guys' posts. Anything you do, that younger man is going to be more insecure. He's going to be more jealous, more controlling. He's going to worry more. He's going to feel like you got something on him. And so that is why a lot of men don't want an older woman, because he don't want to feel like he's being little boy. He don't want to feel like he's being raised. And that can trigger a man. So you have to be careful with that as a woman when you want to date down and date down in age, date a younger man. You also have to pay attention to the signs. So when something like this right here happen, this is when a man is either in love and something happened that he wanted to control the situation and he can't control a human and he can't control the situation. When I say in love now, I don't mean literally in love like a healthy pure love. I mean in his mind it's more like he is addicted, more like he's soul tied. But I'm using the term in love because that's what he would use. That's how he would describe it, that he acting crazy because he's so in love with you. Like he dangerously in love, like Beyonce is talking about. Dangerous in love with you. You know that right? That song, what she be talking about. So that's what he'll try to say. Now, when a man is in love, a man could be in love and he be toxic. Like, because to him, love is toxic. And so he could be in love and he be toxic. So you got to realize and understand that. Oh, Lord, don't tell me I done left my charger. I done left my computer charger. So if my phone die, when my computer die, I got to ride to the house. And so that's what you got to realize is the man will struggle. You know, he'll go through. He will have, y'all forgive my sound if it's echoing or whatever. It's just that they're in here and the desk and all of that causing a little bit of reverberation with that the wood desk. And I don't know, I've been feeling a little echoey in here for some reason. I don't know why. But so he will start to feel away when he want to control you. And the other video I did, I was explaining a lot of it. It's in the members only now, the Blessed Tribe, Blessed Business Tribe, and Blessed Tribe Unfiltered. But so I won't hit all of those points because y'all know I shoot my videos in the moment, so I may forget some of the stuff. So if you a Blessed Tribe member, then make sure you watch that one too, even though it's a little chaotic. But he'll feel, and so in this case, like I looked at them, and this is a case that could happen. This could be a dynamic, a scenario that you can find yourself in. One of the things is where the woman got motion. And when the woman is beautiful and a butterfly, a man could want to clip her wings. He could want to silence her, to sit her down, shut her up. When a man is not where he needs to be, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, he wants to control a woman. He wants to trap a woman. He want to put a woman down. He want to put her in hiding because he fears that another man with more money or more looks could come around and get his woman. Some men will fear that another woman could get his woman. If his woman is bi or has been with a woman in the past or is in an industry or a circle where it's a lot of women with women, and a man could feel threatened. And when a man feels threatened, if he's not emotionally intelligent, he will act out. He will get out of character. When he calls you and he can't reach you, when he texting you, you won't answer back because y'all got into an argument. He ticked you off. You mad. You go to give him the silent treatment. If he's not emotionally intelligent, he will be triggered and he will act out of character. Like it will get ugly. And also what you got to think about is you always got to look at a person's trauma because abuse can go from men or women. It could be the woman doing it. It could be the man doing it. So in this case, it's allegedly the man. And so let's just stick with that narrative and teach from that perspective. You got to look at a man's trauma. You got to look at what he has been through, what he's going through, what he has done with his life, one of the things that you got to be ready for when you dealing with a football player is brain trauma. I'd have been hitting my head a lot of times, had a lot of brain trauma, and I have been James Pearce Jr. before. I've been that. When I was actively playing football in college, I was James Pearce Jr. And I honestly believe it changed your personality, because if it's just who you are, then you'll just always be like that. But I haven't been that man in over 2 decades. So that let me know that while I was getting hit in my head every day, my brain was having chemical reactions. And that was affecting my decision making, and that was affecting my personality. And that may be something that studies may or may not back up, but I lived it. So I can really speak to it, whether a study believes it or not. I lived it. And so now, being outside of that brain trauma and being able to just work and think and all of that every day, it's like I'm a new creature. It's like I'm very emotionally intelligent. I'm very cool, calm, and collected. Like, my wife don't have to worry about the man that I was when I was in college playing football, with my exes. And so if you deal with a man and he was a boxer, MMA, football player, anything that dealt with head trauma, you got to be very, very cautious, very aware. You got to pay attention to the signs. Don't let the signs, y'all got to give them a little tired, up late for Super Bowl, then woke up early. Then the other thing, what you have to realize too, is if he has trauma from his life. Because if a man has ever felt victimized, like what Kevin Gates went through, and any man that went through something like that, being touched as a young man, as a child, as a teen, that's a lot of trauma, and that trauma could show up and be very dangerous if that man gets mad. If that man get triggered, if something trigger him, it can get ugly. So you got to pay attention to that. You got to be aware of that. Be very mindful, and you have to recognize the signs early. There is a thing in behavioral science called antecedent behavior. And the antecedent behavior is what precedes the incident, the behavior that happened before the maladaptive behavior was exemplified. So you have to be able to understand that when you're dealing with somebody who is not mentally stable, somebody who's not emotionally intelligent, you're in a situation where this man, like this right here, it's one of those situations where this man is, y'all gotta forgive me. My wife text me. I just I don't know why she feel the need to send me every picture. She at a spa with her mama. She just keeps sending me pictures. But that way your woman in love. Cause like, be at a spa, like, chill, have fun, do your thing, in love now. And it ain't hypnotized either, cause I'm old. I don't be doing that. Like me, but listen, I pull a hamstring, think about it, getting off inside. And so what you got to realize, also, y'all, after y'all invest in the channel now and you get your little reset, get your ticket for my upcoming events. Got San Diego, Dallas, and Miami. I'm gonna put the links in the description, or go to one of my older videos. If you don't see it in this description, go to an older video from like 2 weeks ago. You'll see it in there. And so you have to realize that if this man is not all the way emotionally intelligent, if he's not all the way stable, if you take and give a silent treatment, that can set him off. If you curse at him, if you cheat on him, if you have a man who has a temper and you notice that this man has a temper and you cheat on him, you could lose your life. You could lose your whole life. So you have to understand that you're dealing with, although it sounds good to say, no matter what, a man should never put hands on a woman, no matter what. That sounds good in theory. Like, here's a cookie. Congratulations for the thought. But we live in the real world where you don't get to dictate and determine what another human being will and won't do. So you have to realize and understand that it doesn't matter what's right and wrong. That don't mean that that man or woman is not going to act out and do the wrong thing. So it's kind of like with anything, with every action, there is an equal or greater reaction. So what you have to understand is that, y'all forget I'm looking for a charger. And if you are in Tampa, Florida, and you're an organizer, I need these 2 back rooms back here organized in my office. And so what you have to realize is that it's kind of like, let's say you got a dog who is man's best friend, and that dog is trained. That dog is trained, and that dog is highly trained. If you go to slapping that dog in the face and then putting your face right in that dog's face, or you keep on slapping that dog, or you keep on getting too close to that dog, and you catch that dog off guard, that dog might bite you. And it's just because it misread your cue. And the bite could have been a kiss. It just misread your cue. It didn't know what you was doing. It's a dog. So although it wasn't supposed to do that, it did it. Same thing with a human being. They ain't supposed to do this or do that. They ain't supposed to, but they did it because of what they done seen, what they done been through, what has triggered them. And that's what you have to realize, that you don't get to determine and to dictate what they will and won't do. So we know they not supposed to hit. We know a man ain't supposed to hit, woman ain't supposed to hit. We know that. But that don't stop it from happening. And that's what you got to realize. And a lot of people are ignorant. And I always see those stupid comments. Oh, it doesn't matter what a woman does. A man should never get violent with a woman. We know that. But you see it happen every 9 seconds, studies say, because this is the real world. So what you have to do is you got to understand and you got to protect yourself, because you can't rely on somebody else. You can't rely on somebody else to take and do the right thing, because that's their upbringing. You don't know what all they done been through, who all they is. You don't know. Y'all forgive me, I had to switch computer, my laptop going dead. So that's the thing. What you have to realize is you don't know what all this person done been through. And you got to pay attention to the signs and be mindful of that, because this person could have been traumatized as a child, could have been cheated on. So let's say this guy already been cheated on. Now that ain't got nothing to do with you, but when he was cussing at you, when he was hanging up the phone on you, when he was snapping on you, all that was signs. When he grabbed you by your shirt, he grabbed you by your arm, when he was pinching you in your thigh, thumping you in your ear, pinching you in your arm, and you thinking, oh, he just a little upset. Oh, he just a little angry. Nope. Those were the signs. When he told you, take that Instagram post down, unfollow this man, unfollow that man, block this person, block that person, change that outfit. All of that was signs of control. That he doesn't like who you are. He don't like how you move. He don't like the decisions that you make. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize. You shouldn't have to tell your person who to follow and not to follow online. You shouldn't have to tell them. They should already know, based on your personality, who you would be offended by them following. They should already know that. So it's like my wife, she don't let stuff bother her. She's not a person that get caught up in like questioning me and all of that. So I follow my clients back online, a lot of which are women, and never once have she asked me, why do you follow this woman? Or who is this woman? I've never once heard that. And some of them women are models. Some of them used to be strippers. Some of them are strippers, but they don't show that online, but they are. And it's like, those are my clients. And so I try not to be that type of person to where I say, oh, okay, well, because you're like this, I can't follow you, but I could follow back my other client who is a school teacher, because I know God love everybody and I know I'll be judged by it, but my work is reaching that person, not worried about how somebody else judging me, because I'm not called to that, to them. So I understand that with my wife. Now, what I do know is if I follow the ex-girlfriend, that's totally different. If I follow the ex-girlfriend, now I know she'll see that as disrespect, so I know not to do that. So I see women telling a man who to follow, who not to follow, not realizing that the other way around, if a man start doing that, that could lead to something getting physical down the line, because men and women express themselves differently. And so you got to realize and understand that. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand the difference and don't look into it. Y'all forgive my wife writing me. I guess she don't think I'm working, so y'all. So that's what you got to realize and think about. And you got to recognize the signs early. You got to recognize the signs early. You got to be able to look and see those little behaviors. And then what you also got to realize is that you can't control a person. You can do everything right and still end up in an abusive situation. So you can be perfect, you can talk to them right, do everything. So you're not responsible for what they do when you're not doing anything wrong. But you also don't get to decide what they see or what they determine as a trigger. So you could say, I got silent and I pulled back to get distance and to give him room so that I wouldn't incite things. And he saw that as a silent treatment and you gaslighting him. And that made him even more angry. So it's certain things that will trigger somebody that should not trigger them, and it has nothing to do with you, and you got to understand that. And that's why you have to look at their life and their history in totality, and you got to be able to assess who they are and what they are, what they do, what they've done. And you have to look at all the other little things, because you may be looking at a situation. Guess I'm supposed to cut this pocket open. You may be looking at a situation and you thinking like, oh, well, this not a bad thing. Like, I did the right thing. Okay, got my little pocket open. I did the right thing. And I thought I was doing right because I ain't cuss him out. I ain't call him out his name. I ain't tell him, oh, you this and that, you such and such, you hotty, hotty, hotty. And I thought I was doing the right thing by bagging back and giving him some distance. And then that turned him up. So now he hops in his car. He races over to my apartment, my house. He bamming on the door. So then I was like, well, I ain't going to answer the door. Then he start kicking the door. He about to kick the door in. So I open the door and he lunges in. And the thing about it is he has gotten off on control. And here's the sick and twisted thing about this stuff is everybody needs some form of therapy. And when we don't get therapy, something else can take the place of it. And we can get in a place to where it's almost like it's one of those situations to where it's like we need this release, this high, and you got this pain, or you got this frustration, or you got this trauma, or this past, or this fear, or this insecurity, and then you get to tell somebody what to do. You speak from that place of insecurity and you tell somebody what to do, and they listen and they do it, and it gives you like this dopamine hit. Like you got this power. Like now you feel powerful. Now you're a puppet master. Now you telling someone what to do with their life, and they listen. And then you stress or whatever, you get angry and you yell at the person, and they sit down and shut up and listen. Now that give you another high. You got another hit because now you feel even more powerful. So now you keep feeling so powerful because of what the person taking and saying to you, and or how they responding to you, and you getting that high. So here it is. You could be a normal, everyday person, get into some toxic situations, operate in a toxic way, and then your toxicity be reinforced. And so now that your toxicity is reinforced, it's like feeding a monster. So now you become more and more toxic. You keep saying more and doing more. And the thing what a lot of people don't understand about abusive relationships is that each time you reinforce the abuser, each time you do what he or she tells you to do or wants you to do, once they get in a groove, once they get in a mode, once they get in a zone, you're feeding the monster. So you feeding it and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so here's what you got to understand. When you get yelled at and you don't check it, you just reinforced it. When you get cursed at and you don't check it, you just reinforced it. So you're going to get yelled at, you're going to get cursed at, then you're going to get, what may be next? You may get grabbed. Then after grabbed, you get pushed. Then after pushed, you get choked. Then after choke, you get slapped. Then after slap, you get body slam. Then after body slam, you get kick. Then after kick, you get punch. Then after punch, you get spit on. And so now put all of those in sequence, and that's how it'll go. It'll go from first you got yelled at or cursed at. Then you got the next one, which if the other one went first. Then you got grabbed, just like on the arm. Just grab your arm. Then you got push. Then you got then you got slap. Then you got body slam. Then you got kick. Then you got punch. So now put it all together. You such and such, blase, blase, blase. Lord, I'm about to knock my water. So now you got the whole kid and caboodle. Everything but the kitchen sink and got thrown at you. And you tough. You a human. But you tough. And you starting to realize, like, man, like, I could take a punt. Like, man, I could take a kick. Man, I could take a push. And now you get an adrenaline rush from that happening to you. And then after that happened, the abuser may go to crime, may go to being a victim, may take and buy you a purse, buy you a car, buy you some jewelry, may take you out to your favorite restaurant. So it's like you went through that. And this is what a lot of times humans fail to realize, is that we can endure a lot of pain. Like we could endure a lot of pain. And then when something reinforces it, now this is where it get twisted at now. Here's where it get twisted at. I want y'all to think about this now. Y'all don't want to think about it. You got to get out your feeling, but I'm going to tell you what happened. And this is taught in behavioral science. Sometimes what happens is the perceived victim will gaslight or antagonize or trigger the low intelligence person. And when I say low intelligence, that could be literally low intelligent, or that could be low emotional intelligence. They will triggered them to get the WWE onslaught. So WWE is wrestling, but the blows are not full real blows. So you get slapped, but it's like a hollow slap. It's like a slap and they stomp their foot at the same time. So it make the loud noise. Now, yes, it's a little sting, but it wasn't the full force slapping game that's out now. It ain't that full force. It ain't that whole thing right there. So the person who is the perceived victim will go through that. And they start to want that. They start to crave that. Because after it, let's say it's a woman with a man who is a millionaire. After it, she gets him more and more entrapped. After it, she gets this dope Chanel bag. Then she gets a Birkin. Then her mama house get bought. Her brother get a house. Her sister get a house. She will start to endure the pain because of the reward on the other side. Now, I know that's hard to believe, but you got to remember, I'm in the trenches. This real life. This a real thing. And so some people will start to do that. And then here's the thing now. The abuser, and I try to mince the word and say a little weird because how YouTube be. So when you hear me say the abuser, that's what I'm talking about. So we'll call him Mr. Punch. So Mr. Punch will be going through the motions, but he knows or she knows, sometimes it's reversed. Now, because I remember coaching a guy, his woman punched him in the nose and body slammed him on the hood of the car. And she was tough like that. And he came to me, telling me the story. I'm like, wow, my God. Woo, brother, I want to change places with you. And the woman was look good. Now, a woman was beautiful. I was like, boy, you going through a lot. I guess they say beauty is pain. But I didn't feel sorry for him because he's a grown man. So it's like, yeah, it hurt. Yeah, he's leaking, but he's a grown man and he chose to stay. So I didn't feel sorry for him, but it was just one of those things. And so that's what you have to realize. Now, for a woman, it's different because the power and the force of a man could actually take her life. Like in the movie He Got Game, where Denzel Washington was the dad of the lead character, Ray Allen, and he pushed the mama down and she hit her head on the stove, hit her temple, and passed away. So that could happen. That's a real thing. And what you have to realize is the person, Mr. Punch, he knows what he's doing is wrong. So when he does it, it's almost like being at the boxing gym, hitting the heavyweight, hitting the heavy bag and like getting that tension out. So he'll go through it and he'll do that. But he's not going all the way. Because he's not actually a psychopath. Like he's not quote unquote crazy. So he knows what he's doing is wrong. And he knows if he gives it 100% that he could actually delete her from life. So he goes through the motions to feel powerful and to get a release. And then she endures it. Because on the other side, she gets a reward. But she is used to it because she went through that at the hands of her mother or at the hands of her father or at the hands of her ex. And she has been homeless. She's been in the group home. She's been violated several different times, several different ways by both genders. Like she has her
own story of pain and how she's able to endure this. But her life has become a place of survival. And what she values most is food, water, money, and shelter. And if that means she has to endure violation and endure pain, and this hurt me while I'm saying it, but this is a reality for thousands of people, then she'll go through that so that she could keep a roof over her head, so that she could keep the image of being married, so that she could keep whatever it may be that she didn't grow up with. And I have seen this. I have seen women who grew up in poverty or struggle and went through things. And when they went through it, it was almost like on the other side of it, they're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like that didn't kill me. So you mean I could go through that, but then on the other side of it, I get a house, I get a G-Wagon, I get a, and the man, it's almost like he's buying her silence. Like, let me trauma dump on you. You be the trauma dumpster. And so when I dump my trauma on you, then I will go and buy you diamonds and purses and cars and take care of you and take care of your whole family if you don't go out to the world and make me look bad. And so that's typically what you will see with professional athletes, or like, I guess, billionaires, millionaires. Like a lot of them have situations like that. I remember, I never forget that, and the person probably don't watch my videos, but if they do, they'll know who I'm talking. They'll know I'm talking about them. But had a celebrity client in, not in the life coaching, but in the ghostwriting. And the client came to me. It was a woman, was with a mega 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 celebrity, and had me write the book. And the book was not really damaging to the mega celebrity. It just told some truth. But she was like cool to a degree. Like she was cool with the ex and went to him to get the $10,000 to pay me. And when the ex paid it, trying to be cool, trying to keep it together, the ex paid it. And then the ex was like, well, why are you doing this? Like, what is this about? Like, what is it about? Like, what do you need? Like, what can I do for you? And the woman probably told him, like, well, I'm trying to make some money. Like, I'm trying to live. Like, I got things I want to do. So this is just a part of my brand, part of my business. He was like, well, what do you need? And I'm guessing she told him a Escalade, like a new truck. And so guess what? From her spending that $10K to write that book, he started just opening the floodgates financially. And that book never saw the light of day. And y'all know it's only a handful of mega celebrities that you see almost every day. You turn on your TV and it's one of them. It's one of them. Like I be trying to tell y'all when I be talking and stuff like that, like, listen, I be really tied in. Nah, I just can't say everything that I know, and I can't speak on everything. And I take that to my grave just because I'm a real one. But for the sake of the lesson, I can share that so you understand, like, money talks. So sometimes people will play the victim to get some money. Now, this have nothing to do with the situation that in the title, but I'm saying in general, you got to make sure that you don't get accustomed to being ill just because you get some better treatment on the other side. So see, sometimes people are so love starved that when they get ill on the other side, they get all this attention, all this quality time, all these words of affirmation, all this physical touch, all these gifts, all this, all that, to where they'll be like, I need to get stomped on a couple every now and then. Like they'll get to that point to where it's like, they ain't hurt too bad. You know, it stung a little bit. A little slap was a little slap had a little more to it this time, but you know, it got me some new makeup because it got to cover up the hand mark. So I was able to get the $80 Giorgio Armani foundation this time instead of the $20 foundation from, CVS. And so they'll start to adapt, and then they'll get to where now here's the thing. The low intelligent person, because sometimes it could be a woman. Sometimes it could be a woman, like the woman we seen online that I was talking about the other day. She could be that person. Like he could take and do something to her, because knowing it's gonna make her go off, but then she gonna fight for him, and in fighting for him, he realized he get treated better. He get more money from her. He get more love from her. He get more whenever he go cheat on her. So now he not cheating because he have to. He cheating because her insecurity don't want her to lose to another woman. So she gonna kick out more money, cook more food, give out more, do all of this right there to keep her ugly man. And he just loving it. And so sometimes you have to realize that it becomes an exchange to where one person becomes a mental user and the other person becomes a physical user. And that right there becomes a dynamic. So when you see a couple stay together, because here's the thing, people say, oh, well, it's not that easy to leave and all of that right there. And we understand that. But when you stay and you get accustomed to it, that's a sign of something off in you. There's a void in you. Because as humans, we built to survive. So we really, like, when our life is on the line, we're not afraid to run. We know that death is an option, but when that survival instinct kick in, it's like, hey, I got to go. I got to go. And a lot of people don't realize that and won't admit that. So that's what you got to realize. Like, there's people who they'll stay in a situation. And so you have to make sure that you don't become the user and get beside yourself and start getting a high off of getting off. And you have to be sure that you don't become the willing participant that is reinforcing the maladaptive behavior. Because each time it will escalate and it'll get worse and worse and worse. And what you got to realize is, for that tool, it only take half a pound of pressure. A pound of pressure, and your brain's on the concrete, on the carpet. A pound of pressure. And because that incident, because it elevates and it get worse and worse and worse and worse, the abuser will keep going further and further and further. So it's like the first whooping, you get 3 licks. The next whooping, think about it like when you get a whooping as a child, you get 3 licks. The next one, you get 5 licks. The next one, you getting 10 licks. The next one, you getting 15 licks. The next one, you getting 22 licks. The next one, you getting 30 licks. The next one, you feel like Jesus getting crucified. You getting lashes. Not now. It done went from the little wooden paint stirrer that you get from Home Depot in your hand to now it's a full-on extension cord across your bike. And you like, oh my goodness, what the world? But it get worse and worse and worse. Why do it get worse? Because they feel like, oh, you ain't learned your lesson. You keep trying me. So it got to get worse and worse and worse. And that's how that thing is. So I want you to realize and understand. Like, you got to get to a place to where you see what this here is, and you start to pay attention to the signs. Because here's the thing. You could think that you got it under control, you can handle it, it's okay, it's in your wheelhouse, like what have you. You could think that. You could think that now. And then next thing you know, boom, you messed up. You tore up from the floor up. And here's the thing. It messed around and happened one time to where, okay, boom. Now, you done lost your sight. You done lost your hearing. You know, it's something like that to where now you done took and lost something. And all it was, what? Well, what is that? Well, what's the point of that? They say that the World Anti-Doping Agency is ready to investigate any ski jumpers cheating by injecting hyaluronic acid in their penises. I wonder, the acid increases genitalia at the point their suits are measured by 3D scanners. Temporarily enhanced measurement would mean athletes being given a bigger, looser suit, like a sail catching wind. This could allow them to make longer jumps. Oh, okay. Oh, so they getting that thing plump, so they get a bigger suit. Wow. Okay. Boy, people finna be trying to use that on the regular there. So yeah, so think about that now. Think about that. So get your life together. Be ready. Be mindful. Be prayerful. It's real out here. Do not get trapped. Do not get stuck. Do not become a voluntary or willing participant. And I know people say, it's not that easy to leave. Listen, you have to ask yourself, would you rather be dead? Because if you stay, you're going to die. Eventually, you're going to die. 9 out of 10 times, if a person is abusing you and they haven't killed you, they're not crazy and they don't want to kill you. They just want you to be a punching bag. So you leaving, it's like you either finna be free or you have brought the inevitable sooner. And that's when you have to ask yourself, do I want to live on my knees or die standing up? And that's a personal choice, and we can't judge you. And I ain't telling you what to do. But what I'm saying is if it keep escalating and you notice each time it get worse and worse, there's only one end for it. Either you're going to lose your life or you're going to get to the point where you so fed up you take their life, but it's still ending in somebody's death. And so prison or the grave. And so we see the situations where somebody lose their life. And we see the ones where they left and they lost their life later. And we see the ones where they stayed and they lost their life. And so it's no guarantee on either way. You just have to decide, how do you want to live? Hey, Tony Gass here. Link in the description. Be a part owner in the channel. Get paid when I paid. Get paid. God bless you. All the information is over there. We'll talk soon.